things done. I catch a paper, boy, things don't really change. I'm standing in the wind, but I never wave bye-bye. But I try. Wish you guys on the internet could hear this.
Little music party going on in here.
Sign of life. He's fading away. Goodbye, Dave. All right. Welcome back to Gunslingers right here on
the Gunslinger Syndicated Radio Network.
And you know, we're no longer being threatened to being sued and being kicked off of all the the internet things. That's why we stopped doing the music on there.
Yeah.
As everybody complains about it, but there's nothing we can do, guys. Every week we get a threat. If you do this one more time, and it's because you only have like 18 seconds or something, and even if we went to 10 seconds
right?
they still would send us the notification. So we just had to completely cut it off the internets. But
more important for us to stay on the air.
Yeah. So
besides, you
sorry.
have our lovely mellifluous singing voice.
Yeah. Sorry. Anyway, so we got locked up with Leon the Motorman, and we did Man Cave Weekends. We did that for a couple of years, and that was a lot of fun.
Hey, that's still kind of fun.
Yeah, and then we got moved, same station, but we got moved to Saturday mornings with a little better time. I think we were 8 o'clock, right?
Yes.
Yeah, 8 to 9, and we did that for a while, and that was better.
That was when we went from Man Cave mornings to Man Cave weekend. We took over the whole entire weekend.
Yeah. So that was a little bit better. But then KRLA contacted me and they said, "Hey, I know we understand you're doing your show there, but we can rebroadcast it Sunday nights from 8 to 9, and do that." And I thought, well, okay, we'll give that a roll. And then, of course, they had me come over, and I'm walking through the halls, and I saw, there's Adam Carolla. There's
Dennis
Prager, and and they've got pictures of the Larry on the wall and everything, and it was like, ooh.
Actual people.
Real people, real shows.
And then, I went back to the other station where, as I said earlier, it kind of looked like a 70s FM or early 70s FM station with no tiles in the roof. And they had this old, remember the lockers when you first came in? I'm pretty sure the real Don Steele was still in one of those lockers, right next to the Wolfman. And it was just, it looked like a bomb shelter in that place. It was just so depressing. And
it was clearly in decline.
Yeah. And they gave us a 2-hour show once over there. They said, we could go from 6 to 8. So I got there at 5:30, and I could get in because I had the passkey code. And I got in, and I'm sitting in the thing because both of these guys had the day off. So I was going to have to do 2 hours alone, which, as you know, I don't like doing. And what happens? The board guy didn't show up till 10 minutes to 7. So it was over 50 minutes of dead air.
Welcome
to over there. So we started looking over here, and with all the things going on, and I thought, maybe, and then we started doing it, and we were doing both for a little bit.
Yep.
And finally, I just said, hey, you know what? This just doesn't make any sense. Let's just go to a station that I think at the time was number 4 in L.A. Of all the conservative stations, and the other station was literally station number 249.
Yeah, falling off the list.
Yeah, of 250. I'm not making that up. That was actually
I remember when we got in there, people were kind of leaving in droves.
Well, yeah.
All their vans had their celebrities that were no longer there, and we were like, man.
And remember the Omega Man? It kind of looked like that.
Yeah.
In fact, Charlton Heston's body was in one of them lockers.
One of those lockers.
I was next to the real Don
I was picturing in WKRP Cincinnati, and then we WCRAP. Culver City.
Yeah, so we came over here, and we've been here, I think, 2 years now.
Yeah.
And, of course, we came over just as an hour show, and I just hated it. It takes me an hour to get here and an hour to get home, and it's like, well, we're on air a little less time than it takes me to get there and then get home, So finally they moved some stuff around, and they gave us a 2-hour show, and it just fits.
We are always, if I may, we're always at the end of a 2-hour show. We're always going, man, is it already over? We're just getting rolling here. Imagine how it was with 1 hour. We were forever going, what? It's over?
And having a guest is like, hi, this is, okay, thanks, good talking to you.
You have a wonderful voice.
So you just won the world championship. Anyway.
Good talking to you.
Really?
So anyway, I mean, we've had senators, congressmen, we've had people running for governor. We had the one and only Patrick Wayne on.
Yeah.
Of course, we've had our good friend Leon the Motorman several times. In fact,
coming back up.
August 24th, we're going to have another Motor Slinger show. Don't forget that. Who else have we had? We have had, well, of course,
Frank.
Yeah, Frank Stallone actually came in studio.
Yeah, that was kind of a fun time.
Yeah, it was an interesting day. And Mr. Sharico.
Peter Sharico's been on a couple of times for
Yeah.
us. We had Todd Hodnett, one of the top long-range shooters in the world. We've had Kim Rohde in.
Yeah.
We had her on the air.
Yeah.
Justine we had in. We had a lot of world champion shooters on this show. It's been wonderful.
If you ever get the Outdoor Channel on Wednesday, they call it Wednesday night at the range. Just about every person on each show we've had on. So Evil Roy, of course.
Yeah.
We've had him on, and Chad Bianco we've had on a bunch of times. I'm still fighting with the station to let us have him come back.
Les Bear?
Yeah, we've had Les Bear a few times. I talked to the owner of Wilson Combat this week, and we're going to try and get him on.
That would be a fun voice to have.
Yeah, so we'll see how that goes. I'm drawing a blank on some of the other ones.
Blackbeard Customs on talking about all this, the work they do with the Berettas, and we're touching on all. We're having fun all over the place, folks.
Yep. And speaking of, let's get to Mark in Woodland Hills. Mark, how are you?
Hey, Mark.
Hey, Jeff, I just want to thank you for the update on your sister, and I'm sure we all agree that God truly does bestow miracles.
Amen,
absolutely.
And
amen.
anybody who's had a sick relative can empathize with you completely. Happy anniversary, guys. And
Thank
Jeff, I'm not going to refer to either of your wingmen as left wing, okay?
Okay. Yeah, I got two right wing wingmen. Yeah. We just fly around in circles.
You mentioned earlier about California voting. We have jungle rules primaries, but thank God only a couple of chartered cities have what's called, it's instant runoff voting, but better known as ranked choice voting, which is the worst possible that other states do have, and it's totally shambolic. Yes. But I did want to, you said touch on things that were mentioned before, and this is for Mark. Yeah, I love the show where you mentioned the early days of skateboarding, which we used to call back then, I'm sure you remember, sidewalk surfing.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, my God,
it's all right. Yeah.
Well, we would take a wood board and get some old steel wheels off of roller skates, and then the high-tech thing was, then came clay wheels.
If you had clay wheels, you were, what are you, Beverly Hills?
Ooh la la.
I'm ancient, but you know what I really got the most kick out of was I got into making my longboards you could lay down on, and we used to do the racing down the hills at Signal Hill. Oh my God! They used to have that once a year, and there were some guys with wind, windscreens,
windsuits,
that went around them so they could really go down that hill quickly. But I got a kick out of that, and I really thank you for bringing that up.
Yeah. Well, we both remember those clay wheels and those roller skate wheels. If there was a grain of sand,
oh man, forget about it. You better have a whole bunch of clothes on.
That's how my dad lost his front teeth. He in the San Gabriel hills over there, just
you
barreling down.
The dreaded skid.
Oh man, and it's face plant, 2 hands and a chin.
Yeah.
It's always a treat when Rick comes on, and really it's fundamental to our nation's sovereignty to become an activist at some level, either with a donation, if that's all you can do, to Second Amendment groups like CRPA, and in a good candidates who stand for office also. We have to become, even if all you want to be is a phone warrior, who does the phone banks. Or using Bill Blaster. You can put that on your phone. I have it on my phone, and I don't download much rubbish on my phone, But you are a force multiplier to defend our sacred constitutional rights. And anybody can do it. I don't care. If you're listening in this audience right now, you can do it. And we have to establish more of a GOP presence, and I don't mean establishment GOP. I mean MAGA, you know. And there are a lot of Purple District Dems who track public opinion, very crucial to their.
Yeah, they have to.
You know, and we can nudge them into getting away from their donor interests. You know, so bottom line, it's free. And it's not as unpleasant as giving blood.
Pump them up, Mark. Do it.
All right.
Yes, sir.
No.
Oh, I was just saying.
I don't plan on learning to speak Mandarin. Okay. So
thank you.
Well, you seen these apartments going up everywhere? What do you think that's all about?
No kidding.
Yeah.
Well, we have to get institutional buying of homes away from Blackline and Larry Fink and some of those economic traders.
Yes.
How can you afford to go up against a corporation that will they will pay over the asking price by 15% or more, because they're not going to flip the house.
Mm-hmm.
They're going to rent it.
Yep.
So it's not just guns, but guns are the most important thing, because if you can't defend yourself against authoritarianism, you're toast.
Yep, absolutely.
And God bless you guys. You guys are really out there on the cutting edge, and I appreciate everything you all do.
Thanks, Mark. We'll talk to you later.
Cheers.
Bye-bye.
We have an uncommonly well-informed listening audience, don't we?
We really do, and it's always interesting to let them go for a minute.
Yeah.
I want to bring out two things. Number one, Larry Potterfield.
Yeah.
We're going to have Mr. Midway on himself, right?
Yeah, the Midway man.
And
the Beard of Knowledge.
The Beard of Knowledge. That was a very fun interview. We should
Mark
go back
Hall Patton.
again.
Yeah, we will.
And I want to shout out Rev Hendo, who says, I still remember the remote from the hotel bathroom. We have done it all, ladies and gentlemen.
I remember being in the studio solo, having you guys over the radio. I'm like, oh my goodness, how are we going to do this?
Yeah, that was really interesting. We were at the Antique Show in Vegas, Mark and I, and Jimmy manned the studio, and we couldn't be in the same room.
That's where we had the cell. That's where the only place we had the reception.
Yeah.
Great acoustics, gentlemen.
Oh, yeah.
Great acoustics.
A lot of reverb.
Well, yeah, I was going to say, when we were singing, it was great.
It sounded great.
I was literally in the tub, you know.
Man, you've had to do shows from the bed.
Yeah,
oh man,
true.
you had a brush with the C?
Big C? The original bad one, back in 2021, I was my blood oxygen level got down to 84. They tried to keep me in a hospital, and I said no. And I said, if I'm going to die, I'm going to do it at home. I'm not doing it here.
Or on the air.
Yeah, well, that happens quite often. But yeah,
this is Jeff.
Yeah.
You did it.
You did it.
Yeah, I did it. So I have yet to miss a show, I think. Right?
I'm pretty sure.
Yeah. Okay. Hey, you're listening to Gunslingers right here on
the Gunslinger Syndicated Radio
and
Network.
our 6th anniversary show. What's the number, Jim?
You guys call in 866-870-5752. Again, 866-870-5752. Come celebrate.
And we'll be right back.
Yep.